All right. Cheers, everyone. Happy Friday evening. Let's play some Dwarf Fortress. Let's return to Woodfight and see where we are. We are not where we left off, as I did try during the week off screen. Try to make the repeater work for the spear trap. So we are actually 11 years into the fortress. Not much has happened apart from a couple of forgotten beasts, which we'll actually go take a look at as well. But for the most part, I will give a little bit of a fortress tour, as some things obviously has happened in the 11 years. The biggest thing is that the military is mostly wearing steel at the moment. But here's what I was up to, and also we have elf ants. We have elf ants here, and they are about to grow up. And I also put a male war elephant on top, so we have been getting some new ones in case we need them. But these ones are about to grow up, so we will have tame elephants soon that we don't need to continuously train. That we can train to be war elephants. But yeah, this is the part that I have been working on, and I have been working on this way too much. I've been working on this way too much, so I managed to build relatively simple and actually quite compact, even that was not my goal. A repeater with one pressure plate that works relatively well, close to the, let's say, normal cycle of a single trigger spear trap. So it's 141 ticks, 140 ticks, and this works really close to that one. But then I wanted to see if I could build a repeater. So what repeater means that we have minecarts here that will be running around this track, and another one running this upper track, and when they hit the pressure plate, that will retract the spear. And then after a while, it sends the signal to actually extend the spear, and that way we can make the spear trap here on the left-hand side. The corridors, all the spears will go up and down when we connect them. So I wanted to see if I could make like a 4-cycle or 2-cycle spear trap instead of this. Instead of this 1-cycle one, where it comes up every 140 ticks. And kind of the theoretical maximum would be to have the spike come up every 82 ticks. And I really tried. I tried so much, and that's the reason why the fortress has gone forward, I don't know, what, 2 years, 3 years? Because while I was doing that, I was also designating stuff to be mined, and I didn't want to load back like 2 years back, because this took such a long time. And, well, first of all, I managed to create a track that the timing was perfect. The timing was perfect. It was 82 ticks per half, or 41 ticks per quarter. But minecarts work in a really weird way, and of course powered by impulse ramps, that makes them even a little bit more odd. But because the timing had to be literally 1 tick perfect, for some reason, when the minecart was introduced to the track, and here's my attempts to actually tackle this, I was dropping them from several floors up, but for some reason, on this upper one, on the first quarter, the minecart goes faster. And I thought it was because it drops down straight instead of coming from here and hitting a wall, or in this case a door. But then after the first one, it's 100% perfect. 41 ticks a half, and I couldn't for the life of me get it to run in a similar way on the first one. So that is something for the future. I will not touch this anymore in this fort. I literally used, I don't even know how much, like a lot. I was scratching my brain with this one, but I'm happy I did it off screen, because that was staring at this one for like, I don't know, maybe like 8 hours in total, because I think I used way too much time on that. Anyway, it works now. It's about, the upper one is about like 95 or 100 ticks per spear extent instead of 140 that below one. So it's a still success. It's way much more poking from the trap than, but it will also cost me mechanisms because I'm using 4 blades, but I don't care. We can do that. Anyway, we have traders visiting, and as I said, we are 11 years into this fort. There hasn't been much action after the initial Untamed Wild attacks. And even lately, I've been, as you guys actually see, I've been cutting quite a lot of trees here. Almost kind of to not only get wood, but also on purpose trying to annoy the nature again. And maybe it's been such a long time that we've actually done anything that I haven't been able to get any wild animals in here. But we do have Forgotten Beasts. We will go back to those and we will let them in. And we might capture some of them for our trapping purposes. Yeah, let's go down a bit. Let's go down a bit and see where we are. So I added a garbage disposal system for the lighter items. We had the furnitures being thrown away, but now we are throwing clothes and everything into the same trap. I did run into an interesting situation with this one, as even that we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels deep into this hole. When we started throwing lighter items in there, if there was a lot of them at once, the Atom Smasher actually threw them out from the hole. So I created this timed delay, let's say delay this smasher that we push the minecart that hit pressure plate, so then the Atom Smasher down below was already up when the minecart hit this spot and dumped the stuff, and then it came down. Because as I kind of turned these on, started dumping all the clothes, for example, the dwarves were bringing like 100 clothes here, and that was too much, so that they always flew back from there, and they I think they actually hurt one dwarf, even that it was only clothes or some minor item, but one was hit in the face with it. So then I was labeling that that's potentially dangerous if they get hit in the face in there. So now it works simply with this normal minecart and not the timed one, because when they are just dropping a couple of items, they don't fly up the shaft. But something to think about if you build an Atom Smasher with the kind of a shaft system like that the stuff would not fly out. It would actually need to be even deeper, like maybe 10 levels or more deep, that the light stuff doesn't fly out from there eventually. I have some plans there ready. I prepared some of it, but I'll finish it on stream. We'll build a waterfall system through the temples and the diners and stuff like that. But in here we have more guild rooms. We have actually not added that much stuff here, apart from the guild rooms and smoothing stuff down. And then one interesting thing about the guilds, actually, that kind of it started triggering more as I was playing with those repeaters. We've had all the artifact weapons, artifact armors, because we have the guilds for weaponsmiths and armors, and as you guys recall, we have a lot of legendary, oops, I didn't mean to do that, a lot of legendary armorsmiths, and in total, like, almost everyone in the fort knows about armoring. Same thing with weaponsmithing. So when we get strange moods, they are almost always weaponsmiths or armorsmiths. However, since we've had the mechanics guild, we have a lot of legendary mechanics as well. And since I had the guild open for others, we've also had a lot of, actually 2 times, strange mood from a mechanic. So we have 2 artifact mechanisms. And what is significant about those? Well, first of all, they are really high quality. So I think I will upgrade my well with one of them. But then one of them I can use for a weapon trap that will never jam, because it's made of an artifact. So I think I will do that and make some super high quality weapon parts for that. So that's from the guilds. So guilds are ridiculously powerful if you run them for especially for a long time fort. Anything else in here? Actually, I learned from a YouTube video from Twisted Logic Gaming something a thing from Dwarf Fortress I had forgotten is possible to make, which is micro reactor. I will build one for millstones in here today. I will see if I can get it built. It's a brilliant design from way back. And once again, thanks to Twisted Logic Gaming, I know that it still works in this version, and was even reminded of it. I know the Dwarven water reactor, but I never built it. The micro reactor is kind of the same, so there's not actual flowing water, in a way similar exploit, but I want to build it because the design is so cool and so small that you can easily put it in one place and power just one thing with it. I really like it. Going down, one thing I didn't do anything about was the magma below. So I still don't know if the most recent design all the way down here, if this actually now works. Is this short enough that minecarts would come up from here? I was also thinking that if I don't get this working, I might put like one impulse ramp in the end to push it off the hole once it's full. But I would really like it to work like naturally here. It would be so cool. But we'll fill that with magma today. Going below, again, not really changes in here. I did make one room there on top that's not even in use yet. And going down, the web shooting Forgotten Beast has been working really well. In fact, so well that I think we have like 3,000 silk cloth, even that there's over 200 pieces of each and every cloth in the fort already. So we have the cloth situation in in practice. So this trap system works perfectly. I have expanded our quarry around this around the cavern. These rooms here, I just mined them out for stone, but who knows, they might also be used for something extra. I also mined into the pillars of the cavern, so that's so we have kind of almost open mined that one. And as we go down from this level, we have the barracks for the gear of the military. We have the clothes, armors, weapons separated into one pile, so in theory the military should be able to change their equipment in this one space here. But especially early on, the military picking up their gear, changing into clothes, that is not working well. So I turned the military fully in their orders. Actually, no special orders. There should be. Oh, actually, they are right. Because they are on staggered training, which means that they train 2 times a year, and the rest of the time they are ready. Because when I changed this to off duty, so that they don't wear armor all the time, they just, I don't know, they're changing from armor to clothes. There's something weird about that. We'll see when we go to the bedrooms what I mean. We have a couple of artifact mechanisms there that we see. Our dungeons here on the right. But yeah, here's my military guys' bedrooms. Like some of them have snatched like 20 ropes or something to themselves. Because they were changing, they were getting a rope, they were getting an armor, they were getting a rope, they were getting an armor, they were getting a rope, they were getting an armor, and even that they already had like 7 in their room. And yeah, this is weird behavior. Like some dwarves are hoarders, but this was like, this shouldn't work like that at all. That if I hadn't turned the military to continuously wear their armor, I think these guys would have like 7,000 ropes in their rooms. It was weird. But yeah, going down. These are actually just some extra rooms I carved, just in case we want to use extra barracks. Same thing here. Same thing, we have our therapy room, but actually, as you can see from the happiness, I didn't even really turn on the therapy room by locking someone in, giving them a bunch of cats, giving them some engraving jobs. So even Varakim has jumped into the, at least the stressed level, no longer unhappy. But hopefully the waterfall will be the waterfall will be the last thing for that. And we have bedrooms for all the dwarves up to 220, if I want to. And then the rest of this is just mining. I made a couple of rooms here for no particular reason. We have been mining around this thing for magnetite, for tetrahedrite, for gold, just for stone. We have more mining here on this side for gold, and I've been mining for the platinum from the magnetite veins while I was working with the repeater over time. And here down below, as we go through these crates, we have a... I made this quite deep, just in case I want to make something, so we have the waterfall going through kind of extra levels. So when we finally get in here, we have just a standard drain that goes off the edge of the map with fortifications on the... So the edge of the map is here. So you can't mine it, but you can smooth it, and then you can fortify it with the fortifications. And water will flow through it. So everything we put through the mist-generating waterfall will go through here. But yeah, I think I want to start with. I want to start in here. I want to start in here and test if the magma fill works with this one, or do we need to make it even shorter. So let's start pumping this one. This is the magma train is full, closed, so that we can fill the corridors in here, and then we'll take minecart from above, coming down like a big ramp in here, down into this ditch full of magma. And what I'm hoping for, that now it is the right length for my setup, where it's coming with really fast speed, that this is long enough for it to slow down to be filled, but then not so slow that it would get stuck in the corridor. So I have made it kind of a little bit shorter from the first attempts, but this will be like attempt 11 or 12 trying to do this. So this is a huge thing if this finally works. Even that this has quite a lot of practical use. The manual way of using minecarts to just put them in the corridor, have them filled up, unforbid them, and then push them up. That has been working really well. That's how I did all this setup here, like 100 levels or 80 levels above. But let's test this and see if that finally works. So we have our Magma fill automatic. This one should now be kicked. And the bottom one shouldn't do anything. Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it gets stuck. Stuck once again, or will it appear invisible from the other side of the magma, which means it would be full of magma. Oh, come on! Minecarts. Minecarts. So one tile longer, it got stuck in there. And in this length, it was too fast again. So without some micromanagement there with track stops or something, it's not possible with this setup. I'm so disappointed. Oh, I tried that so many times. Oh man. The problem here is that I made my ramp comes down like 80 levels, so the minecart goes up so fast that it skips tiles, which means that it would also derail, and that speed is too fast for it to actually be filled with the magma. In here I think it's still deep down, but it just didn't fill itself. And yes, the diagonal things in the thing is to depressurize the water. Going back to that one, I forgot to mention it, but since you asked. So when a water goes through a diagonal way instead of straight way, it depressurizes the water to that level. So as soon as the water comes to this level and goes through the diagonal things, it will no longer be pressurized and go up. However, if this fills completely, then it could be pressurized to this level, at least in theory. Actually, this could be like emergency thing that I would even close this off. Well, anyway, we'll see how it goes. Hey, Grimmelk. But yes, when the water is coming through, if you put the water down a shaft, from it generates up here. You put it down the shaft, and it starts to fill. The water is pressurized to 1 sea level below where it started, and that's why fortresses get flooded. So for example, if I was to tap to this brook and get water from here, this level, it would flow into my fortress, fill each and every gap on every single level. We would see the water coming down to this level, 1 level below the brook. But yeah, okay. So the first thing I wanted to do didn't really work, which was the minecarts. One thing I kind of want to do here is, well, first of all, we need to now prepare this whole system in a way that there's access to this hallway to a bait animal, so that things would walk through all of these things, and then I think I will actually fill this whole thing with spear traps, and then well, this room here, I was thinking about that flame throwing beast, capturing that one here, but then again, like, then we wouldn't necessarily see things going into here, and but that's still an option. That's still an option to try to capture that one beast in here. the statue is there to lure building destroyers in here, in case they are not interested in killing animals. Yeah, these are actually upright spears, but there's a lot of them, and then there's 10 spears in all of them. But that's not really a problem, because I'll be using a lot of mechanisms as well as I'll be using the four pressure plate system to achieve that I didn't get the timing perfect. Okay, but let's do this in a simple way. I think. I think I could do just a simple. Wait, this doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, right. I never used this corridor to go down. What was my initial plan? I think what I will do is build just a one-tile bridge. One-tile bridge here, and that's most of the things would be caught in these traps. But if there's something that is not, that doesn't care about those, we would have way in here. So I will mine that out. Actually, probably need a little bit of priority to that. And let's see. I want to build a little bit of flooring in here, and then I will bring. I guess I could have like a maybe like optional way that this would go like around the place. So I could make like a corridor in here, and then whoa, what was that? Build. Oh, so I could have a bridge in here that I could close in case I want them to go a long way. Actually, I will make this too wide. I'll make this too wide, and then if we would get the flamethrower here, I would actually want to give it a little bit space. A little bit of space to work with, so maybe like three wide in there. Yeah, I think so. What am I'm pressing. What am I pressing? I'm missing a key. Let's move my keyboard 2 centimeters to the left so that I actually hit the build. Build construction wall. And this doesn't necessarily have to be full. This would be a bridge. Let's do that. A bridge. Let's put it in there. So take and build that, and then for this actually for this construction phase. For this construction phase I will make a hole in here because we need to connect a lot of things. So I will make it up here. We need to connect, like the mechanics need to run between the trap and the spear traps for a really long time. So let's make a stockpile for them as well here. I think per spear trap they need to go 4 times in there. So actually, you know what? Let's forget about this this whole system here for now, and we'll just make mechanisms. Trap mechanisms. So this is furniture type mechanisms and only exceptional masterwork. That's what we are using. We know that they will actually all be stone, and then this will. Oh, is there a tree growing up in here? Sapling. This will take from. Okay. Then we'll take from there. And we're gonna need a lot of these, so let's up this. We'll need like a ton. Wait, this corridor is how long? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 13, so there's at least 26 spear traps, and then I might build more in here. And it's 4 per, so we need a lot of these, and we need to continue making a lot of these as well. So this can go like up to 200 right now. And also we'll start placing more spear traps. So I think I had an order for that. Did I take it away because we stopped doing them? Steel, silver, forge steel, I think menacing spike. Okay, this can go up to 50 now. Right, we actually have quite a lot of them in storage, so I can start building them. Right, but I actually before I do this, because I have the test spears here, I could show you guys how this works. So let's pull that one. Let's pull that one. So someone comes and pulls this lever here. Here on the trap, the hatch covers under the minecarts will go away. The minecarts drop, powered by impulse ramps, start being powered through. On this upper one, it actually hits the first pressure plates here, and it's going down triggers the first retract signal. And then when it pops up after that, it gives a signal for the extend. And because I have multiple pressure plates on the upper one, the signals stack in a way that if there is already a if the spear is already retracted when it hits a new signal, that is ignored, and instead it will get. So that went fast because I didn't slow it down tick by tick, but it went down just before this one. And the same thing if we go to the other side. If I go 1 tick at a time here, we see that ideally it would actually no, wait, sorry. It ignores once again the signal to retract, and around these parts, the first pressure plate goes up, and that gives the signal. It actually went up right there. It gives a signal for the spear to extend, and that happens after that signal 40 ticks. So when we come in here, I'm going 1 tick at a time here. The spear comes up for the first time, and now this pressure plates here gives us once again a signal for it to retract, right there. After 40 ticks, it goes down. So we see that it's running around. I'm going one tick at a time here. And as we go forward in here, it goes down before the next pressure plate. And this is the difference between the perfect timing. On the perfect timing, the spear would go down, and exactly on the next tick, we would step on the next plates. But I couldn't perfect the timing because of the difference on the first round on the minecart speed, because it needed to be one tick perfect. So once again, now when we go forward, this retract signal will once again be ignored, and again with the same timing, the pressure plate in here popped up, throwing a signal for the spear to extend. And we are looking at these two top spears in here. So 40 ticks after that came up, the spears here will extend, and it happens right about now. There we go. So we have about 90-95 ticks between the spear extension, instead of the 140 that the bottom one is timing for the bottommost spear in here. And then there's a difference with the spear timing, depending if the spear was built before the pressure plates or after them, and that's what these two spears are demonstrating. So one tick after the spear that was built before, the other one pops up. No other difference, just some weird timing with those. But anyway, that's the principle of the multi-phase thing. So that kind of some signals get ignored, and instead we throw in a signal from another source before it's possible with a single one. And if we actually look at the bottom one, it is coming through all these cycles for this one, and the spear is about to go up. Sorry, actually we are in a different cycle. Why are you interrupting me? And it's kind of funny that you actually appeared right next to the spot we identified as a source for potential fun. You are made out of what? You are made out of clear glass. Well, spoilers. Spoilers, we already had one of these guys as I was doing offline. And we will see what kind of beasts we have here. We'll get to know these guys. We have some pretty badass forgotten beasts here, but let's see if I can show you the timing here before we go and see that one. So this one is going on a loop. We just saw that pressure plate pop up, so now we are looking at the bottom spear. Just before, this whole roller coaster here is timed in a way that just when the spear pops up, right after that it goes on the pressure plates. So here we go. We see when we come to this tile, one more tick, the spear comes up, and immediately after that the minecart goes and gives the retract signal. So this one here is perfectly timed into a single pressure plate spear, because it comes up just before we give a new signal. And as said, I used so much time on this. I used so much time. Like it makes no sense. This bottom one was simple, because it was just a matter of creating more or less tracks, creating curves until the timing fits. And even this one took like 2 hours. But this one, holy fuck. And it's still not it would have been easier if I would have settled that, okay, let's first do a 100 thick spear instead of 140. That would have been fine. It's about this design, but no. I had to go and try to make an 82 tick design, and jeez, proved to be impossible for me at the moment. At least I gave up after 10 or so hours because that was silly. But hey, let's go see about the Forgotten Beast. So here's the thing. This guy is made out of clear glass. Cool here thinks he's a tough boy, but we have something pretty special here in this third cavern layer. So let's see if Cool finds the master of this cavern. Interestingly, because this one is made out of glass, it should be immune to fire, but I don't think that will save him. Let's see when they find each other. Oh, come on. Why did you disappear? Okay. Spoilers. Nope, that's a different one. This is not the one I was looking for, but this one is the one in the first cavern layer. It's been hanging out in here. I think this is ruling the first cavern. Yeah, it had killed two of them. That was not the one I was looking for. I was looking for this one. This one breathes fire. And this one... No, wait a minute, this is in a different cavern. My bad, sorry. My Vena will have to wait. So this is our potential flamethrower. And as you can see, it is a beast of a beast. That's 2, 4, 6, 8 it has killed so far. And it has only taken damage from itself, burning its own fat. And then like one little scar from 8 fights. But yeah, the third cavern. No, that's not the one. That is not the one. I'm sorry, I have too many beasts. Nope. Keep on clicking the wrong one. There we go. This one. This one is waiting. This one is waiting for the one we just saw. Let's see if they find each other. Looks like this one is patiently waiting because it didn't start beelining for that other one just yet. I think they are finding their way out of my vision to each other. Hopefully the fight happens here where we see it. The burned off ground around this one might give you a hint. But it does. If the other one breathes fire, this one is fire. I already saw the other one there, but this one doesn't care. We are friends. Yeah, this one is a patient one. Interesting. Interesting. I've never seen this. Never seen the other one. Other one must be scared. Anyway, this one is composed of flame. This is the Balrog basically. It's as soon as it moves, it ignites everything around it. It's brilliant. I think it has killed only one. No, it didn't. Right, it killed one, but because its fire killed it, the poor thing didn't even get a name for it. So yeah, this is curious. Why the other one is not attacking? Maybe the other one is going to attack something else here and that we don't see. Oh, this is interesting. Really interesting. Okay, right. While nothing is happening there, let's let me see, is there any fighting going on? No. Is there any mandates? There are. So let's make a couple of more for my for our queen. So we'll pull this one, and as soon as someone pulls this, the hatches here close, and as the minecarts speed around the track, as soon as they come up here, instead of going back around on the bottom level, they slam into these walls and stop moving. So it's it doesn't require any dwarven power, and this setup here above was related to my timing experiment, so kind of basically doesn't do anything at the moment. But yeah, that was disappointing. I wanted to see Ditari in action. What is this other coward doing, made out of glass? What is this? What is this? Maybe it's maybe it had some other plans. Maybe it's killing some minor enemies off the screen. But I don't know why this one is not moving. If there's other enemies, because I don't think it's hurt. Yeah. On the other hand, it is made out of flame, so maybe it's just camping on its own fire. What I wanted was for this one to... Oh wait, could it be possible? Could it be possible that somehow... No, there's no way. I was thinking that what if all the possible paths would be closed by a tree, but I see a path in there, so it's definitely possible. And I see one forgotten beast who died in here. I see the remains here. Huh. Well, if we see a symbol for a fight, let's come and take a look at this. But yeah, I'm thinking Mevena here. I would invite this one over, even that it has it's been always a pleasure seeing fighting the forgotten beasts here because of its so it basically flies above them and just breathes fire down on them. I think it does attack with its wings as well, but it has killed 8-1 here with its fire. But the idea is that I could capture this one in here, behind fortifications, and then it could breathe fire on enemies who come on this side. But yeah, let's start doing the trap setup here. Hey, Mr. Weber. Right, one thing I do want to do is... bucket is full. Someone was taking water. What I want to do is take this one out. And we want to create a platinum... Actually, oh, wait. I have made some copper buckets, but I will wait until our king asks for a bucket, and we'll make a platinum bucket. And we'll upgrade our well with a... let's make a platinum... Can I make a platinum chain? Yeah. Make a couple of platinum chains and let's hope we get a masterwork so we could make like a really badass well. Right, and also this needs to be walled off. This needs to be walled off, which actually gives me a reminder that we need more chalk blocks. Made quite a lot, so let's make 100. Okay. Now the question is, do I want to put... I think I will just continue putting the spear traps in here. So this whole corridor is full. For some reason the multiple like steel spear traps, they only show us like one up there, but on the wooden floor the hole was a little bit more clear where the practice spears are. Yeah, but let's build this one, and all these should either be masterworks or exceptionals. So let's just choose 10 of these and fill this corridor. So they can start making new ones. And then I would really like to test this. So one of the forgotten beasts will probably be the victim. And also related to that, we should bring. No, actually, they can take the spears from quite close by in here. Yeah, fine. And also, the dwarves really like to do individual training. They really want to train. It's interesting. And there's a lot of stuff. Let that happen. Yeah, it's fine. Sparring. Baby crew up. Band-aids. Those guys left. We are making the statue. Let's first take these testing sets up away from here. Make a new one. Are roots passable? No, they are just like a wall. If you mean like here we have roots from a tree above in here, it's just like a wall. But if you cut down a tree in here, it becomes open space. If it was dug down already. So these walls would actually transform into sand, but if we cut, say, this tree that is above an empty space, it would create a hole. But roots are just like walls. From that sense. I think I want to open that, and I will just fill this with the floor. Because I don't want stuff to be climbing over the walls and flying in there. Have a lever. I like to make these fast works because the dwarves are close to them, pulling them in. Population cap is 160. The hard cap is 220, so we have gotten some babies and children and stuff like that. But yes, we are not getting migrants above this. And I'm like 200 dwarves doesn't give me anything that I don't already have, so I'm actually keeping it here because we have a decent FPS with 160 still. Okay, so this one will be from spears to beast trap baits. Longer way. Long way from grinder to spears. Long way from grinder to spears. This one will be linked to this one. A longer way to spears. And then we make a tiny bridge. Tiny bridge in here. So this bridge here prevents them from going inside my fort if I don't want them to. Yeah, in settings, game, population cap, this is where I changed it. So this is by default, this is 200. I started by putting this below like to 30, then I raised it up and now it's at 160. Strict population cap, it pretty clearly says includes births. So this is the default. So after you hit the population cap, you no longer get migrants no matter what. You can still get your king. You can still get your monarchs and like special dwarves, but you don't get migrants. But then the fortress can still grow up to the strict limit through births and stuff like that. You also... I actually haven't had those in Steam version that much, but I think you also... You can grow between the population gap and strict population gap by accepting visitors or long-term residents as citizens. They can still apply. And then, well, other population caps and visitor caps and things like that in here as well. Wait, did I leave it at 160 now? Yeah. But I actually recommend taking that, like, keeping that at like 50 or something, because at least what happened to me when I was learning Dwarf Fortress, at some point I always got that like migration wave of like 40 dwarves, and I was totally overwhelmed. Like, what do I do now? I don't have bedrooms. What do I do? And then before that, I kind of almost knew every dwarf in the fortress. So keep the population cap down until you are ready for more dwarves, and you can have a fun fortress with just 15 or 30 or something dwarves. Okay, so this is From the spears to beast trap baits. Link. Of course the king doesn't now ask for a bucket when I'm actually waiting for the king to ask for a bucket so I can make a platinum one. What's the best way to deal with dead enemies and XX'd out gear? Well, best way is always up to debate, but what I do is I automatically throw them to an atom smasher. It doesn't need to be this automated, but what is happening here is that we have a similar mechanic to quantum stockpiles. If you don't know about what that is, it's a track stop that dumps wherever you want. It can be a stockpile, so then it stockpiles all into that one tile, or it can be a hole in this case. So nothing this does is a track stop that dumps to the right, and I have created a route to this refuse dump, telling no conditions because the minecart itself doesn't move, but that it takes from all these stockpiles here next to us. So what happens is that if a refuse is come here, or in this case corpses is brought here, like forgotten beast, goblin, whatever, the minecart route picks up the things from the stockpile as if this was a minecart route hauling the thing somewhere else, but because the track stop auto dumps, it gets thrown down a shaft that is actually quite deep. In there we have a bridge, which is an atom smasher. What means is that when a bridge comes down, anything under it gets removed from the game. Unless it's something like really big, like a mega beast or elephant or something like that. You can't crush every living thing with those, but you can actually crush dwarves and quite many other things with the bridge. But then the pressure plate comes in. So as a dwarf steps in this one, this pressure plate is triggered to the bridge down below. So they take the corpse, step on this, put the corpse in here, they dump it, or whatever other remains, guts, arms, legs. For some reason that is forbidden, I don't know why that is. So while they are stepping on this, after a short while, the bridge goes up, and whatever is thrown into the shaft gets crushed automatically. And same thing I'm doing with XX clothes. There it gets a little bit trickier. Also, well, for the clothes, if you are in the early game, just trade them. Trade the XX clothes, assuming that they are not owned by the dwarves. So you need new clothes for them to replace the worn out ones. But what you can do after that is similar setup. Well, without even thinking about the dumping, make a stockpile that takes. In my case, it takes everything, but what is important is like the silk, plant, leather, yarn, whatever clothes you have, and then you limit it to whatever quality you have. If you want specifically the broken out clothes, you would only take standard, like this. And because even a masterwork cloth, after it wears out, it will become eventually standard when it's broken. And there's there's a little bit of a bug with these. You don't want pins in the dumping, so whenever you twiddle with the settings, that goes up. But then, in order for them to bring the stuff here, you either take from your main load stockpile, or what I have done is that all the lower quality ones, because I'm throwing away even new clothes if they are not exceptional or masterwork. So my main clothes stockpile only takes exceptional and masterwork. So all these 4 other qualities are taken up there into that disposal system. But you could modify this by doing this and just separating the standard ones, and then that stockpile you would either trade or dump. And to a degree, if that kind of automation is intimidating, what you can also do is have that stockpile, but then from that stockpile just dump them into Magma, into an atom smasher that you use manually with a lever. So that's how I handle it, and I think early game I would trade. At this stage where I am, it's better to just smash them. But I think that's something that's, because in a way there's a lot of things in Dwarf Fortress that are kind of they are not 100% by design, like Atom Smasher, but they let it be in the game. So I think there should be a way to deal with the corpses that doesn't involve Magma or Atom Smasher. Because if you have a lot of fights, you can easily have like 1,000 corpses in your stockpile if you don't have some sort of disposal. I think that should be handled better by the game. Like they should decay faster or something, I don't know. Oh wait, I have the chain in there. That's why I was like, wait a minute, I thought there was a plant there, but it was my own chain. Funny. Okay. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. They have been fighting. They have been fighting. Wait, did this one win? Did this one win the fire breather? Or wait, why is there so much fighting? What's happened? Where did you fight? Oh. This crystal glass one found these guys found each other for some reason. Amazing. But wait, did the clear glass one beat the one made out of flame? Amazing. Did you kill it? You did. Wow, maybe you killed it because you're made out of glass and you didn't burn. Oh, that is cool. I'm kind of sad I missed it. I was so busy explaining things, but okay, so now we have one champion in all the caverns again. Interestingly, clear glass. Crystal glass. This one was just a flying some poison thing or something. Oh, this one took a beating. These guys had a good fight. Nice. Okay, but yeah, I guess I should capture the flamethrower now that I'm thinking about it. So we should prepare space for it. So what we would have is fortifications. I need to build them because this is sand. Then we would have the beast itself. And We would have a bait animal, and then we would have a bridge. We would have a bridge in here to lock it in. And then it could fly or move about and breathe fire on whatever comes here. And then we would have, actually, this could be a bridge. Yeah, let's change this. This could be a bridge that we close to stop it from breathing fire. Then we have a fortification, and then we have the beast itself. So this would be where I trap it. And we would do a way for it like that. And also then like if you want like advanced tip, like what because especially if you start killing a lot of goblins, the only thing you probably want from them is their metal from their weapons. It's often referred to as goblinite, because you kind of get iron from them. So you probably only are interested in the stuff that you can melt and turn into your own weapons. You don't care about their crappy lead armor, whatever maybe they have iron helms. But anyway, anything that is not iron, you probably not care about when you get them in large supply. So, what can melt almost anything but doesn't melt iron? Magma. So that's why some sort of magma trap or thing to flush even the dead goblins if you want to kill them otherwise. But you could actually like flush the corridor or place where you kill the goblins with magma and then drain it away. And that way only the good stuff would be left, and all the corpses would be left out. No miasma, nothing like that. But I've rarely bothered doing that, but especially if you would have like a volcano embark, it's not that hard to do it. But if you have to pump the magma from all the way down below, then it's a little trickier. But that's like the ultimate way of dealing with enemy corpses, because the only stuff that is left in there is the stuff you want. Okay, more spear traps. Someone is making a petition. Do we have a demand for buckets? Yes, nice. Let's make platinum buckets. Let's make 2 of them and hope that one of them is a masterwork. What are we being petitioned? Oh, the one monster slayer finally found its way in here. I will approve this fellow. This guy has been in the sidelines for a long time. I think he might be, yeah, this one. I don't know why he didn't come earlier. Like he was hanging around in on the outskirts for a long time. Which actually reminds me, is my tavern long-term residence here? Okay. Sadly, the long-term residents, there seems to be some sort of bug with them. They don't reclaim rooms. I could actually see if we have a room that I could give them, just in case they would actually use it. So in theory, in here we should have long-term residents. Yeah, this Nicholas is one, as we named them, and oh, there's a kid without room. Top is one. And then I'm just giving them these rooms far away from the blaze. Okay, we have a couple of kids, but then now we have this one. Let's see, is this floor full? Okay. These guys would eventually get their own rooms, but let's assign the kids their rooms. The baby can still be with others. Okay, so then we would make. This would be a bridge. I think I will actually take this statue away. This would eventually be a wall floor. This one would be a floor. Have I made this? Interesting, why are they going from that side? It make these ones. Why are they running from there and not? Oh, right, because this takes a long way because of the ziggity sack. That would be a wall. Fortification. Then we would have a bridge that raises towards the fortification, just one tile. Like that. And this one we want to make out of magma safe material. I don't know how powerful the fire is, but let's put the bridge in. And then for that we will have old lever. After I get these traps set up, I will send some raiding parties. Raiding parties to the goblins and trying to pick a fight. Because what I think is happening is that because our civilization was dead before I started, they are basically kind of ignoring us, even with all the wealth we have generated. And they are quite far away as well. So eventually they might come, but I think we are not in their radar. Because they were not immediate neighbors. I think I need to go and pick a fight. Pick a fight and let's see if we can get some goblins coming in. One of the metalsmiths has been possessed, so... Let's see, they are... Ooh! They are both great weaponsmiths and great armorsmiths, so... Interested to see what they choose. Will we get a weapon, or will we get a... armor? And for some reason you once again went for big iron bars. I think that there must be something that they prefer the new stuff. So basically whatever, if they don't have some preference. So in that case we happened to smelt some big iron bars instead of, say, for example, steel or something. And because we haven't been smelting any platinum like regularly, it has not been picked up by any of the strange mood dwarves. Because what I would like to see is to have a blunt weapon made out of platinum, because you normally can't do that. But let's say a platinum warhammer would be the best possible kind of hammer because it's so heavy. Same thing why you normally want to do warhammers out of silver, because silver is so heavy. Okay, but they are working on it, and actually I just noticed we did make the buckets already. So let's make our well. Renew our well. So while I'm building, let's do that, and let's take this apart. Could a dwarf make a mace warhammer from lead? In a strange mood, yes. But platinum is even heavier than lead. But lead would be the... Don't quote me, but I think lead would be the second heaviest possible material for a warhammer. Or blunt weapon, and warhammer is the best one out of the blunt weapons. Okay, but yes, let's build a new well. And this time... Let's see. I think I will make it out of the mica block we have there. Or should we make it out of platinum? Let's make it out of platinum bar. Oh, you can't make a... Oh, you specifically need a block for this. Okay. We do have a gold block, so let's use that. Gold block, and then a platinum bucket. We didn't get the masterwork, but I'm not gonna redo that. I can always redo if I want to. Platinum buckets. Then we did get platinum chain, also not that high of a quality, but let's use them anyway. And then we have two artifacts. Artifact mechanisms. I will use this other one, Sezukubal, and this one that will be a much more badass well that the one we built in the initial ones. That did remind me of a little bit of look at the artifacts. Artifacts, because many of these were done during the off-screen parts. So we actually created iron buckler. That's had a image of dodecahedra in dolomite. I like that. So this one was glant horns, and then we got the clutches of pantomiming. That's an interesting name. Copper buckler, kind of useless. Once again, going back to the they seem to take the metal that is smelt last if they don't have preference. And then we get a couple of these mechanisms. So this was the one we just put into the well, called Slapped Spirits, Sezukubal. So this one is going in there. And item was one of the artifacts we had before, the intricate gold low boot. Then the second mechanism we created, the Twinkle Hour, the Library of Sound. Shetpethnal, gosh, Koskoshvot. It had interesting image in it. Image of Lolol Delbux the dwarf and a bronze spear. Lolor is impaled on the bronze spear. The artwork relates to the impalement on bronze spears of the bodies of dwarf Sodel Hazy Daggers, Lolol Delbux and dwarf Ligot Swordfence by the sepia ruthlessness in Granite Girder in the early autumn of 90, in the pillaging of Granite Girder. So I believe this is one of the final moments of the civilization before us, and now imaged in this one. And there's also an image of us butchering a cat 3 years ago. This dwarf's mind took that butchering of a cat quite seriously. Cat is screaming. On the image of he's a hippo man. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then we got this was cool. We got a steel pick artifact. Is someone actually carrying it? Oh, one of them is actually mining with it. That's cool. There was right. There was just an image of one of the old artifacts. So the pick was called webbed crushes. And then we had a iron breastplate, City Ekru, the Purge of Fingers, also interesting name. Not really anything special images in this one, just the usual hanging rings and menaces with spikes. Ineth Hutal Thekust okay, or ok. And then the last one we got was a Chalk cabinet. I was hoping for artifact door, it would be so cool, but cabinet was the one we got. And there was a couple of early artifacts imaged on this one, and also Forgotten Beast. Yeah, now we're getting something from the made out of big iron from our next strange mooder. I wonder if they will once again leave these buckets here. I have not been able to dump water in this version without dumping the whole buckets. Also, that reminded me I should let that one drain. Should let that one drain, and I guess we can push that one back up. Let's take that out. Ooh, a big iron spear. Nice. Iron spear. If that would have been steel, that would have been amazing, but... And the item is an image of sweltering circle, the bauxite Datan, again one of our artifacts. And the item is an image of nourished ivory, the mudstone bracelet, another one of our... Oh, so they basically filled the whole shaft of the spear with artifacts. It also had the mechanism that we just put in our well, the slapped spirits. And then there's also the Chalk cabinet, the last one. Okay, so they put like four of our artifacts imaged in that one. It's pretty cool. Okay, I would like to see someone use this well and see what kind of thoughts they get from such an exceptional well. Okay, right, but this is flamethrower block. What I mean with flamethrower, we will go and get that beast in there that breathes fire. Link it to that one, and then we need a bridge to capture it in. A bridge that raises to the right. Right here. And we will also have a door there. Used to block it. Since I will probably soon get it in, let's go and prepare the way in here. But actually, I think the third cavern... Is the third cavern still that we didn't open the way to that one? Let me see. Yeah, the third cavern is actually not open yet, but that thing is in the second one. So let's see the second one. These ones are closed, so it would come up from here. We can control the access by opening this one, and then in here we would open these ones so that it gets in here, goes in the corridor, and we will have a bait animal here, and we capture it in there. And then with this bridge up, it will not harm my dwarves, but it will harm anything that comes in here after we have everything set up. The thing about upright spear traps is that let's say these keep on coming, even with the frequency I have with this upper repeater. It comes down every 90-95 ticks. A creature can move the fastest ones like I think we have another duel. Like the fastest ones can easily move like several tiles in that time, like 10 to 15 tiles even. So then there has to be a way to lock them in there to actually be killed by all the spears. But let's see if we get another duel here. So we have the clear glass beast that's won the previous duel, and then now we have this one, a 6-legged lizard with a deadly spittle. I think this one will die, even that it has ogre scales. I think the clear glass one will win. Oh, they have quite a fight with the dust in there. Oh, did it die? No, it's still there. Oh, that's a pretty good fight. Pretty good fight. Yeah, let's see how it's going. This one is taking a little bit of beating. This one is heavily bleeding. Yeah, something made out of glass is pretty tough. But it's also flying around in its dust, just like we did in our previous fort when we had the dust monster. The dust monsters are rather nasty, as their dust is throwing them around. It doesn't bother a forgotten beast who doesn't give in to pain when they are slammed into the walls. Man, this fight is taking a long time. What an epic duel. Don't go, please don't go out of sight. Hmm? they wanted a little bit of a breather in there. Man, this is a battle. This is a battle. Amazing. I think the dust is lengthening the fight quite a bit. Look at the amount of blood in here. Look at that. Look at this. What? This is amazing. Amazing. So much blood. Did the other one die? Oh, it died. All this blood was from the other guy. This guy, made out of glass, got a little bit of fractures. But it's more or less fine. Okay, the reigning champion in the Cavern 3 continues to be Cool, who got the legendary name Udul Kitab. Silent Aches. Nice. That was a really good fight. But that's the thing about Forgotten Beast. Like if they are sometimes super hard to kill. Super hard to kill. Lock in flamethrower FB. It hits in the lower body, in the right foot, and that exploded in core, and that was the final strike. Man, that was a long fight. Actually, for Forgotten Beasts or anything like big, Forgotten Beasts are actually a little bit tricky because. Like, blunt weapons are good against undead, because they mangle the bodies, so that the bodies don't raise up again, if there's a necromancer or they are just undead in general. For most of the big beasts, spears are good, because you have a chance to hit a vital organ. But Forgotten Beasts don't really care about that, so they are a little bit tricky. So it's sometimes hard to kind of say that what would be the best weapon against those, but I still kinda like spears. Or maybe against Forgotten Beasts, like have a variety of weapons instead of like one. Or even going with axe, because while they don't feel pain in the same way as normal ones, axe can chop their like limbs off. So for example, chop their wings off so they don't fly if they are a flyer. Even chop their head off, depending on how strong they are. The kind of axe always has that one-shot ability, like spear has against anything that has organs. Okay, but now that is being prepared. Now we see that it's linked. So we are ready to take the flamethrower beast in. So let's do that. While we continue to make these. Oh wait, where did the angry dwarf come from? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Why did someone go from stressed to angry? Good thing you pointed that out. Ah, it's the... Right, okay. It's the visiting guy. Although Varakim did go into Haggard again. Or close to that, so we need to do something about that. So I could prepare my mist generator. Okay, but this can actually be tricky. These can be... yeah, that's why I was surprised to see a red one, because we didn't have anyone for a long time, but I accepted this visitor. And I think this visitor has been... because the long-term visitors, they don't really function properly. But I wonder now that this guy is in here, he might actually pull away from there. Because they will be able to pray and drink and all that. So let's see if they pull out. But there's not much I can actually do about the visiting guys. I've been making copper buckets for my for the king. We got these from the caravan. That can be smelted. These can be smelted. Those can all be smelted. We actually make a couple of steel picks for the miners. Some better, higher quality ones. It seems that someone was taking that for mining. Huh? Ah, right. This was the fight we just witnessed. Hey, Homerics. Is the pacifier skill still useful? You mean in pacifying an angry dwarf? I believe it does have impact when if someone is going to arrest tantruming dwarf or something. I think. But to be honest, I'm not sure. Okay, so this one can now be pulled. So this bridge raises up. There we go. Floor this off for the future. And then okay, just for a moment. Let me lock that one. So no one gets crossed in this one. So we do from spear traps to baits. We pull that one. So that this one is closed. There we go. Now we can unlock this. We open this one. This one. This one. Oh, no, wait. First need to take a bait in there. Shoot. Okay, let's take... I don't think we have anything apart from the elephants and such, and dogs and cats and things. I think this dog has been in the beast trap for quite a long time. I think it will die of old age soon. So I think the poor thing will have to serve us one last time. Nope, that's not the one. That's the one. So now the question is... Oh, the problem is that it will breathe fire all the way from here. So it might be a little bit tricky to catch, but we have beast trap 1. Beast trap 1 right there. Not sure if we need to let it go off the chain, or can it be moved? Yeah, they don't automatically get it. Oh, they do get it off the chain. Okay, good. Yeah, then they are taking them to the bait's place. We can actually, well, that doesn't really matter right now. We'll take another animal there later. And looks like Sakata didn't get the memo on what purpose the dog is serving. So, okay, luckily they didn't remain there for too long. Okay, and I did leave that accidentally locked, so we go in here and we close that one. Okay, now we can open that one and the dwarves can move normally. We open that one. We open the second cavern. And we open the second cavern. And now, if I have forgotten to close something, we would have some fire breathing in our hands. The thing should be coming up as soon as it has time. There it comes. So let's go up here and double check. The path is open. These ones are closed, so it actually doesn't get in. This one is open. That bait trap is open. This doesn't lead anywhere. It gets in here. The bridge is closed, so it doesn't breathe fire on us. So we should be good. And I did connect this one. Yes. Okay. As soon as it's here, I can actually block its path back. And what this does is that when it actually gets to the bait animal, it's it has no way to go, so we have time to close the bridge. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm not sure where it will. Let me go one tick at a time here. So it will start breathing fire right about now. So we lock it in. Pull that fast, please. Just in case, lock the door. See if it breathes fire on the dog or not. Or will it just go eat it? This was the fire breathing one, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Looks like it's going to just eat it. It's not going to. Okay, someone needs to take that, please. Okay, now it's burning the dog. Rip. and this one is about to close, and we have a flamethrower. Nice. Nice. The dog served a grand purpose. Is that thing annoyed by... yeah, it's annoyed choking on its own fire. So now, when we open this bridge, anything that is here will be hopefully getting some flames. The dog is burning because it was an old dog. We wanted to give it one last blaze of glory in order for us to capture this flame-throwing forgotten beast, so that we can have a flamethrower in our traps. I am brutal only in Dwarf Fortress. But in here everything serves the greater purpose. But now we have it. Whether we want to use it or how we want to use it, it's up to us now. Okay, we don't need that many spikes anymore. 40 is good. Depending on the forgotten beast, like a cat or a dog or anything can easily kill. Well, not easily, but well, depending on the forgotten beast, they can die really easily. But something like this that breathes fire, unlikely that dog would actually even get a chance. Okay, but yes, that was a great success. And actually didn't even take that much time. And once we get the rest of the spears here done, then then we are ready to welcome visitors. I think we will need some walls in here so that they get closer to the fire breather. What can cats do in this game? Are they good for anything? Cats hunt vermin, and vermins, if left unchecked, can destroy your food storage. Or not the whole storage, but they eat food from your storage, even if they are in barrels or pots. And cats cannot be assigned to a dwarf. Instead, the cats adopt someone to be their owner. But for the owner, the getting a pet is a similar pleasant, happy thought as they would be getting a child. Like in real life, yeah. Everything about the cats in this game tells me that Tarn Adams is a cat person, just based on how the cats work. They don't care about anything, and they choose their owner. Okay, last spear traps. And then starts the massive connection operation. Oh, oh, we are out of church. We are out of church. We've been using that as our magma safe material, so need to go down here now. Do some mining. Is this the... Oh, I remember this was the edge of the map, but no, it was not. I do have other magma safe materials, but just now gotten so used to into using the same rock that I'll just continue to use that. Try not to hit cavern walls. Let's unplanned forgotten beast enter. I have stairs here and here. I'm taking the stuff I mine into the fort, and then we have minecarts. Minecarts to help with hauling. When we come up to this level, we have minecarts hauling the rocks as they carry them. Green glass is very easy magma safe material, indeed. But now I have not used in a while. Can you make mechanisms? Yeah, mechanisms. For mechanisms you need some rock. But everything else, like for example, if you are making a pump stack to pump up magma, just making the pipes and corkscrews out of glass, that's the most economical way to do it, definitely. Oh, thanks for reminding me. Thanks for reminding me about the kiln. That's the last one we really want to fuel. That happens with these. It's been such a long time that let me just make sure I already changed the stop. So that's one. I think I did, but just in case. So there's a invisible iron minecarts here. This one is... oh, actually, they just put it in position. But now they chose to push it, so it's pushing it up the tracks we created a long time ago, and they will bring it up to the workshop level, and they will push it to the stop I designated, which is in this case the spot for the magma kill, and the track stop has been set to dump north, so the magma gets dumped into the hole. Oh, right there. And then we repeat that one more time, and then it will be 4 deep, which will serve the magma workshop, whatever it is, for as long as we want. So let's take that off. Let's go down in here. Unforbid that one. Unforbid it so that it's easier to assign it here, as we see that it's the only one without a sprite, meaning that it's a full one. But we don't need to watch that. Actually, let me see. Yeah, this was a new guild that we created, and it was high enough. Okay, let's begin. So let's build. Let's build pressure plates, minecarts, trigger. The weight doesn't matter. One in there, and I want these to be the highest quality, just to celebrate how much time I used in this one. Even that the quality of these actually makes very little difference. I think I will actually not use this one. So we'll get the repeater. Repeater 1 off use for now. Just use the top one. This will take a long time. This will take a long time. Okay. Link. Let's do it from there. Link. Same one. So I chose to do it like this. I'm in a way like using a lot of mechanisms for not that much effect, but again, since I started this thing, I might as well follow through. So that is only one of them. So that's one. I'll link a couple of rows in at the time. Right, I could also do. Actually, what I'm doing now is a stupid way to do it. I will change my approach. I will instead link one of the spears into all of one of them into all of them at the same time, so I can keep the interface open. So the first 3 here are now linked to. I'll link to all. So then I take this one and I do link that, link that, that, that. That's how as far as I go. So that should be. Is that 8 of them? Yeah, I think it's 8. But we can check the spears later. Then I take this one, Start from... So cannot link because that's already linked. We start from that. So let's take the last one off. Then we take that one. Fourth one. Fifth one. Sixth one. Seventh one. Also, since spear traps don't care who's standing on them, in this case, quite important that these pressure plates are not triggered by dwarves as well, so that when they are going, they are walking to the other pressure plates, they are not continuously triggering. So I think these spear traps they might even one-shot a dwarf without armor, because there's 10 menacing spikes per trap. Okay, I will leave them at it. We should have a full one here. We do. Magma fill manual. None. Drag stop away. Smooth arena. Let's make a magma kiln. First thing I will do is couple of instruments. That were clayware. Build workshops, furnaces, magma kiln. Let's make this out of... It should be made out of calonites, I think. But do I have calonite blocks? Ah, there it is. So I think isn't calonite is the one I can use for. Yeah. Clay things, even that I don't have clay. Cassiterite could be used to glaze. Ah, right, you can glaze with tin as well. Okay. Yeah, so this one should be. This one should be calonites. Let's make it take from. Take from the big stone. Oh, wait, where? From here. I actually set my auto melt thing to also take exceptional ones. So all our weapons that I'm leaving into use, they are masterwork. With armor, I leave the exceptional because it's too rare. Too rare to have all armor pieces masterwork, but with weapons it works. But, when a long-term resident like a mercenary is angry, it's not that big of a deal. They will get happy or not, and it's not really that big of a deal. Oh, some of our dogs died of old age. Oh, rip. Oh, yeah, we are getting a lot more of the animals dying of old age. Okay, those are actually named animals. Named animals, so we might get happier thoughts if we allow them to be buried. Let's allow these for pets. Yeah, this was the timing. 12 years from the beginning. Yeah, a couple of the named beasts, including the war dog that helped us with. Oh, they are taking all them here now. Okay, all right, we had all these cats who had died before. Okay, this became a pet cemetery. Also, that was not supposed to be not supposed to be a tomb. Makes sense that the pioneers of trying to make elephant pets lay on the pet cemetery. I agree. I agree. They did us a great service. Looks like the dwarves don't care that much about it. I don't know. I don't know when I will stop this, but I still have to do it. Such an amazing song, like so good. I might have dumped their corpses. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. Drink and industry. Fantastic. I think all the music in this that they added in the Steam version is fantastic, but I also love the fact that they did add that like all the others are kind of nice ambient music, nice background, and then they have this one banger from the taverns. It's so good. And yes, it is sung in Dwarven language, that as well. And though at least Simon Swearer was doing a lot of the Dwarven language songs that were used in SoundSense before. If my memory serves correctly. But yeah, I actually might have crushed the corpses of these ones that just died instead of burying them. But it's the thought that counts. For some reason they did bury some of them. I don't know what that was about. Okay, are we linked? We are linked. They were relatively fast. So if we look at here, okay, one of them is still going. Then I guess they cancel some of the jobs. No. Okay, so if I look at here, it's cannot link, cannot. Okay, I missed one there. Okay. Yeah, this is it's a little bit. I don't like the look of this spear trap. It's so. I linked. I missed that one with this. Oh, it was cancelled or something. Same thing there. So I skipped one row. It seems. Yeah. Basically have to look at the green tag there on top so that I know which one is the next. The mechanics are quite fast with this, as long as I have the mechanisms for it. And again, kind of this four blade system, it uses so much mechanisms, but as I said, since I started it, I might as well go all the way. And do it for the whole corridor. What's going on in here? There's upright spears placed on this corridor that I'm clicking here on the middle or left, and upright spears, if you don't connect them to anything, they are just upright spears that you can use on as a bottom of a pit. If you drop something on them, they will be impaled by the spears. But you can also connect the spear or spears into some sort of machine, lever, pressure plates, or something. And I have built a minecart track where a minecart cycles through 4 different plates, causing it to send signal to the spears in slightly faster fashion that I could do with one pressure plate. So that's the complex part. Like the simplest version of this one would be that we have a pressure plate here, one pressure plate. An enemy would walk in, steps on the pressure plate, they continue into the corridor, and after a certain period of time, all the spikes would pop up, impaling anyone who's in the corridor at that time. But with a single pressure plate, it would just be one time. Of course, a next enemy might come and it again triggers and it pops up. It's actually pretty efficient even like that. But for me, I will start this manually. I could actually connect the start of this to a pressure plate. And then that would continuously trigger it. But the idea is that the minecart will cycle through this one, and the spears would be popping up. And anyone in this corridor, including my dwarves, if they would be there, are continuously getting impaled by spears. What is significant about these upright spikes? They can be spears, or they can be the separate trap parts, the upright spikes. This will hurt anything in the game, even an enemy that is trap immune, because this is not a trap from that point of view. It's a weapon that comes off the ground and hits them. So even forgotten beasts and spoilers, demons, will be killed by this or hurt by this. If they are there long enough, they will also die. But this is the way of killing demons from hell. In this case, in my trap, I'm starting this manually. So I pull a lever, and it drops this minecart into the track, and then it will continuously go over, and it will go over these pressure plates as long as I pull the lever again and it stops. But if you would trigger any trap with a pressure plate, you would want it to place it in a choke point that they can't go around. But if they step on that tile, assuming that when you are setting it up, you can do it in a way that only minecarts trigger, only creatures trigger. You can tell that your citizens don't trigger, but then you can actually set it in a way that not everything triggers. It's it has a weight limit. So this is actually also a way to see what are the heaviest creatures in the game, or at least in this list. So you basically set a range that actually triggers the thing. So assuming that the thing is heavier than the one you set, if it steps on that, it cannot dodge the pressure plate. But I think even with this setting, kobolds are super super light, in the default settings they wouldn't trigger it. So for example, some thieves could be kobolds, so they could not trigger it if you don't change the settings. Yeah, exactly. There is the trap avoid. Trap avoid, which I think kobolds have when they are sneaking, and also the forgotten beasts, and also the aforementioned demons. And that's why I want this to be manually controlled. So that's I'm not relying on a pressure plate to start this. Same thing with my grinder here. Those who didn't see this grinder, this is full of impulse ramps, a mechanic kind of a weird exploit slash bug in the game that powers a minecart forward in super high speed. So we have a minecart here that we can drop in this one, and it goes around super fast, and anything that comes in their way, it will continuously hit them. And if it has time to accelerate, it will hit super fast, like, and hard. And these are platinum minecarts, making them as heavy as possible as well. So we have already used a grinder to kill a couple of forgotten beasts. One of them was one shot, one of them actually made it back and forth before that thing died. But with the grinder, with the flamethrower, and the spear trap, we have a pretty badass weapon system here, trap system here, especially because we can also lock things in here if we want to. It's actually, now that I think about it, I should actually have bridges here that would lock them into the spear corridor. If something really bad comes in, we could keep them in the corridor until they die. It is a curved track on a ramp. So the mechanism how it works is that if you have a track on a ramp that has exactly one connection to a wall and one other direction, wherever the minecart enters that tile, it will be accelerated towards that free direction as it was going like downhill. In practice, how you build these scared me. How you build these in this version is that you make like a curved ramp starting from the level above, going down. I made a YouTube video how to build this particular trap, and it also shows the impulse mechanic. I use the same mechanic here to accelerate the minecarts on this track. So we have two here, and then one here that will push it up a level, and then it drops back and accelerates to the other direction. So these were built from the top level down, and then after you have built it, you only need that one tile, but it needs a ramp. In this case, I have constructed them because we are on a soil level, but you could also carve this. But yeah, you can find it on my YouTube channel if you want to check that. If you want to very specifically build this kind of trap, it shows it step by step, but you also learn the impulse ramp mechanic. Okay, I think we can connect more things. They're actually doing it. Oh, wait. Yeah, we didn't click these yet. Right, and I do need flooring on the level above. Wait, did I connect that one already, but not this one? Huh? Wait. Wait, what? Is there a limit? Limit on how much I can connect to these ones. Maybe actually it's oh right, it's probably not showing them. Did I go through all these ones already? I don't remember I did. Apparently I did. Okay. Huh. I guess it's okay. Started thinking that is my 4-plate system flawed that I can't actually connect everything. And I'm looking on the top left corner, seeing when the cannot link changes into green, so I know that this pressure plate is not yet connected. Yet connected to that spear. And again, what makes this particularly kind of complex looking is that I'm using a kind of four cycle mechanism in there. And pressure plates. Also, these the spear graphics is not making it. It's like even that I have the tiles next to them quite visible. It's kind of the spear part is on the right, on the top side of the tile, and it's, at least for my eye, it's a little bit confusing. So I'm thinking this is the middle of the tile every time. Then this one. Oh, nice! Iron mail shirt. Cool. Most of our artifacts we get our weapons or armor because we have used guilds to train basically everyone in the fortress to be at least a little bit of an armor smith or weaponsmith. And we have, I think I have like 30 or 40 legendary smiths. Okay, I think that's the first corridor done, and then I have the Zigatisac left. Yeah, there's 10 spears in each of the tiles as the upright spear trap. But the graphic is a little bit odd, especially as I had the training spears in here. It was kind of much more clear than this. It seems that it only has like graphic for one of the spears and only the tip of it instead of the whole thing. It's a little bit weird, especially because when you build it, it shows these kind of dots what it actually is. That there's like a maximum of 10 spears on that one tile. But yeah, I think this is one of the things that they have some placeholders or missing sprites from this version still, that artists will be adding on to future patches. And if you missed us capturing this one, this is a flamethrower, as I call it. It's a forgotten beast that breathes fire. So we can open this bridge here, and this thing should breathe fire on anything that is walking in front of it. But that remains to be tested, obviously. I wonder if I should, while we are doing this, should I send the military on a mission to pick up a fight already? Attack some goblins nearby. I think I should. I think it will be summer in just a moment, so I think I will wait that. Wait! Did I accidentally add the artifact? Oh shit. I just saw it there on the list. Fuck. Ah, for fuck's sake. I'm not gonna take this apart. I would have to link this pressure plate to everything. I was planning on using that for a weapon trap, but oh crap. It's a good thing I noticed it now. Fuck. But wait, is this wait, when the mechanism is on that end, it's on the pressure plate. It's not on the spear. Oh, crap! I need to take it away. Then I have to link that spear, that pressure plate to anything, and the mechanisms I already placed in the spears, they are now just, I can't get them back if I don't take this whole thing apart. That's why I want to, because on a pressure plate that thing goes into complete waste. But if I put it on a weapon trap, the thing that you put in here and it swings the weapons. If it's an artifact mechanism, it never jams. Never jams. The weapons do wear out depending on the material, but mechanism never jams. So I was thinking of having the mechanism either here or kind of as the one last one. So that's why artifact mechanism is super powerful. And I was not looking what it was actually using for the linkage, which was my own stupidity. But I was actually thinking, because this stockpile was only taking these, that we wouldn't use the artifacts one. But obviously they did. But we can now forbid that, so they don't use it anymore. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Basically the waste there was, because I'm not gonna take all the spear traps out anymore, is that some mechanisms are now, they will the ones we used linked from here to there, they will remain in the spear traps without doing anything. And there's no way of taking those mechanisms out without taking the whole thing apart, which I'm not gonna do. But yeah, luckily I noticed that now. That would have been even more work later. So let me put these. This is southwest. Pressure plate southeast. Pressure plate northeast. Northwest. And now we need to link this thing to all of them again. And now here in the mechanisms, the artifact thing won't appear because it's forbidden. Right. Let's make a hard save, because there was already quite a lot of work after the previous save, so even that we are a couple of weeks from the autumn summer save, which actually will make our fort already at 12 years old. Let's make this one a little bit smaller. Once again, the nobles ask for things. So, golden statue. Keep making copper buckets for the king, so that we can smelt them if we feel like it. And I have a lot of copper, so it's all good. Right, the kiln was built. Kiln was built, so why don't we make the... Why don't we make... So the first thing, let's put this to give down there. Let's pull this train. Right, but let's make those instruments parts. Actually, what I could actually do. Let's do this. Now we have all the materials. So let me just see if I make this. It would let me make, for example, that one, right? Makes it out of color. It's okay. Let's cancel that. Because all the instruments that our civilization, our dwarves know, they are always assembled in craft dwarves. So I will do it like this because it's the things can be made in like from various different materials. So let's make let's take from here and say make instruments. So this is the list of instruments we know. So I will take myself a screenshot of that. Screenshot of that I have all these names, so that I don't need to remember them. And then I will go into because we see like at least one part that is missing from there. But instead of me hunting that, I will go, let's go to carpenters. Let's make do we have any instruments pieces in here? No, we don't. Let's go into kiln. Let's make an instrument piece. Okay, I can make these. Let's go into the glass and make these. I could and then in metalsmiths, like let's do these. If I want to build one very specific instrument out of these, what I would do is I will go into the orders and I will in here, for example, type dem. So here I see that I have 4 parts that would go into a dem. So then I could here into orders select all of these and say click that one. I would do another one, dem. Let's do a keyboard. Let's do pipes. Let's do pump. And then I would actually change these that we only create one, like this. And then if I'm not sure what material it can be made out of, I can click in here and okay, maybe we want to do like badass instruments, so let's make these out of like platinum or gold or whatever. Actually, let's make them out of platinum. Why not? And then there's no material selection on the keyboard and pump. They probably only have one place, maybe those are the clay ones or something. And then if I select the pipes I can see, okay, it's made out of wood. This might affect the color, but maybe nothing else, who knows. So let's make big maybe avocado, that's nice brownish color. And then with these ones that don't have a material, this is how I actually learned that making this dim instruments we need kiln, because I clicked on the condition and on the suggested things I saw that it says amount of clay stones. Okay, it's made in kiln, but now it will just happen, so I don't need to touch that. But then if I want to make like all the instruments, then what I actually do is I go into each of these and I will make these on each of the things, like one each. On each of these. So that's all the class ones. Then I go into a forge and I say that instrument pieces. We are already making them, so I don't need this. In some cases there's multiple options for making them. So I could, for example, some of these could also be made out of some other material. So there might be some similar ones. Let's say Meden keyboard, was that in here? Oh, just Meden pipes, okay. So let's make instruments, and here let's forge these other than them things. Instruments, medem, usan, and zon. And let's make all of these out of gold. That I have more platinum. Let's make all of these from platinum. Why not? Plats. Platinum, and platinum. There we go. And then in the kiln, we are already making the dem parts, but let's make decal. Let's make decal keyboard. Let's make dalem drum, and let's make meden chest. And then I go into craftswolves, and in here the instrument pieces. Usually in the craftswolves workshop you can make the things that can be made out of multiple materials. So what we could actually do, let's do it like so. I think the kiln, glassworks, forge, and craftswolves workshops are the one where these are created. I'm pretty sure there's none in the carpenter, because the wooden and stone and such, they are made in craftswolves workshop instead, and not in the stoneworks either, I think. Yeah. Some of the instruments will become furniture later on. Okay, but in order to avoid doubles, let me. I'm again just using screenshots here to make this easier for me to remember. On the other hand, the duplicates wouldn't actually matter that much, but because all the instruments are always randomly generated for your world, for your civilization, like, you can't memorize these. You always have to do this thing that I'm doing now. Experiment in just building the different parts, so that then you actually see the instruments. And then in here we have these ones. And I will actually tell you one thing that I did. That dem example I started with. We spotted that before, why we are building that one specifically. Okay, but then let's see this one. So let me see if these are double or not. So we are making decal pipes. They are not made anywhere else. I remember we put dem pipes in here. Right, so we are making that already, that's why I remembered that one. Okay, these are actually not duplicates. I remember that there was a case. There was a case where I was making duplicates in yeah, we can just make all of these. These are not okay, so forget about the duplicate check. If you want to build all the instruments you can in your civilization, just go through these four workshops. Four workshops, and make all the possible instrument pieces, and then assemble them. Sometimes you can have like a one-piece instrument. Also, this is already a memory test, especially when talking. Keyboard, pipes, hammers. Usan hammers. Let's build the next and others here. Cyril. Instrument piece, melody pipe. Instrument piece, sound chest. And then I can check that, okay, these are made out of rock. So I could select some special rock for these if I wanted to. These are made out of bone. I will let them select that. And these are made out of rock. So basically wood, rock and bone are made in Craftswolves workshop. But yeah, as I mentioned before, You can just build all the instruments that your civilization knows by checking the full list from the Craftsdwarf's workshop, and that these are the ones I can build. Sometimes in here, in Craftsdwarf's workshop, I think in the other ones as well. No, there might be that I have only seen it in Craftsdwarf's. There can be here like I don't remember, is it build or make, but you can have just a one piece instruments, so those you can create without this multiple parts and then assembling. They are basically like the handheld instruments, and most, if not all, of these that you assemble actually become furniture that you place in wherever you want them. Pretty sure that's how it goes. Again, because this is random. If you, I don't think there is, but you might see that make instruments command in the other ones as well, but I'm not sure. It might only be a Craftsdwarf's workshop thing. But one important thing, if you want to kind of check that what instruments you should build, if you watch your, well, the easiest way to do this is actually do it in here. When your dwarves are in a tavern, if you see some of them, okay, we have a lot of these. There's no performance going on at the moment, but if you see some of them with a task of simulate something, that means that they know a musical piece that requires that instrument that they are simulating. So then if you actually make that instrument and have it in the tavern, next time they don't need to do like do. Instead they can actually play the instruments. But in my previous fort I noticed that more often than not they are actually simulating an instrument that you can't build, which doesn't make any sense. Because obviously that okay, here we go. Let's see. There's a couple of them chanting. Let's see if we have one of the mercenaries is sleeping because they refuse to go to their room. Okay, so we have these guys just chanting. So it's like they are singing. So there's no one at the moment playing anything. Let's see if we could catch some of them. But yeah, basically the dwarves are air drumming and air guitaring when you don't have the instruments. It actually works as far as the performance goes, but then the performance gets even better if you actually have the instruments. So all of these dwarves are coming to listen to these dwarves sing. Fantastic. Well, now they changed into oh, there we go. I saw someone simulating. Crap. This is where the units window comes in play. Simulate Sifina, simulate Nekate. I don't think I have either of these. So yeah. So they are simulating instruments that we are not aware of for some reason. But if I go look at Kulet the bookkeeper. Oh, I can actually look at the task, what they are doing with... Oh, I didn't know this thing! I didn't know this was possible. I can actually look at the musical piece that they are doing. Whoa! Whoa! Wow! There's so much detail on this task! And all this, yes, you can check poetry as well. This information is in their knowledge, but I didn't know that there's such information for the instruments. Yeah, this is explanation of the musical piece that they are performing, and all this is randomly generated. with whatever rules they have. So yeah, I have seen that information, but what I was surprised that you can actually get it directly from here, because what you can do is you can see what they are performing in their knowledge. Like you can check the things they know, but that actually gave me a view into which of these they are actually performing right now. There might be some of them saying that they are listening to a certain performance, but again, yeah, we don't have those instruments that they are talking about, so that is unfortunate. Okay, what is this other thing? Simulating the cage. I think they are both playing Sun Sets on Authority. That is the song. And then this explains the whole song. And we see here that Nekate always does the main melody. And the Sifina, that the other one was simulating, does the rhythm. And yeah, so basically one of them at the moment is like beatboxing. And then one of them is like doing scat, like nice. But it would be nice to see them actually play the instruments as well, because the thing might be that we make all these instruments, but because the musical pieces that they know, they require this other instrument. They would never use the instruments we do. But yeah, someone asked that would the instruments be good of trade value? I haven't checked. But actually, because these are so complicated to do, at least for the most part. I don't think it would be worth the trouble. Of course, kind of from role-playing point of view, if you want to be a musical factory, you can trade your things, but just based on the value I have seen on the traders, because like a full instrument costs like 300 or 100 dwarf bucks or something like that, but they are quite low quality. So if we make like a masterwork instrument from platinum parts, and if we use some valuable stone like obsidian for the rocks, it will probably be quite valuable because it has so many different things in it. But not sure. There's the save. There's the save, and I think that is my cue for a short break. So let's do that. Let's do another save after the save. And we'll continue for a couple of hours today. Stream tomorrow as well. There will be a stream on Saturday as well during daytime, and then on Saturday evening or nighttime, depending on your time zone, or very early Sunday, I guess. I'll be on Kitfox Games' stream with Cell vs. Cell as a Cell's quest, talking about Dwarf Fortress, and our focus will be on different kind of meeting areas like taverns, guilds, libraries, and things like that. So that will be on a Saturday, 10 p.m. UTC. But as said, now a short break, and we'll continue with trap building after that. So see you guys in a bit.